Alright, guys, welcome back to another episode. This week, we're going to touch a couple topics that we found interesting this week, and I hope you guys find it interesting as well. To say the least, this week has been a week. So, what would you say?
It is what it is. We always keep it positive and good vibes, isn't it? But we're gonna chop it up with some other stuff where we see afloat around the internet and them thing there, isn't it? So welcome back to our YouTube channel on our way to 200 subs. So I have to big up the people in, isn't it? I have to big up for the continuous support and everything. Been getting a few complaints about the lingua. So try my best for some of my American folks. If I'm speaking this way, then they say, I'm still speaking fast enough for them. So I'll try to tone it down a little bit. But
hey,
we'll try something.
Over time, we switch in and out, especially for me.
Yeah.
I go in and out, so sometimes you can pick up. We're gonna be mindful of that, but at the same time, we're Jamaican people, and if you're around us for a long time and if you stick around, I think you catch on. Yeah. Normally, the Americans or anybody else from a different culture that meet Jamaicans and are around Jamaicans kind of pick up on the lingo, or they may not be able to speak it, but they're able to understand. So
right, factual.
It will happen over time.
So people, again, please remember when you're watching, right? Remember to like,
share,
and comment, right? And just share it. You see, as soon as I send out the link and anything, and you receive the link, just share it again. Give me a repost, So big up for that. There was something that happened prior with a young boy who
it's alleged.
Not alleged.
Yeah, because
it happened though.
The school shooting happened. The bullying part was alleged.
Yeah, but you never know if I was gonna talk about that part. They make you jump up and say alleged, like, hey, you don't say. Some of the words then we can refrain from using. But the bullying, right? That would be one of the topics that we want to discover. That's how this story that we're about to say. That's what we think are alleged to that.
Right. We have to get into that because I feel like that could be a whole episode by itself. But it kind of bring up for us the topic of bullying.
Right.
I feel like it's something where everybody have seen,
right,
or been a part of, or been a victim of. Mm-hmm. I feel like, say, some people think it's a part of life growing up. Like you're pushed around by maybe older siblings or friends or strangers, and you're supposed to build character and grit and broaden your back based upon things like that. So if somebody challenge you or was picking upon you, normally them say, yo, somebody lick you, lick them back kind of thing.
Right.
So it kind of bring up what we want to talk about, have you ever been the victim? And also in a twisted way, sometimes the perpetrator, what would I call him, the perpetrator, the one that's doing the bullying,
right,
have been bullied before.
Right, so victim versus the perpetrator.
Yeah.
Or the perpetrator will become a victim.
Yeah.
No, the victim will become a perpetrator. Yeah.
Right. And even, yeah.
Right. So in this matter, what happened was the young boy, it was allegedly said that he was being bullied. And what happened is, something in the planning. He told his parents about it. They bought guns. Look at the mom knew about it and all of that stuff. And the dad was the one who bought the gun. And over the Black Friday holiday, and then right after Black Friday, he
heading back to school.
He told his mom said try not to get catch. So there's trace of the parent knew what he was doing. Again,
it's bizarre.
this telling the story, you know, I have some few stuff to talk about. So, telling his mom, and the mom knew that, hey, they had a psychopath or whatever, right? And the youth went to school and did his thing and hurt some, you know, children. Not sure if they're innocent, if they were the perpetrator. And also that was bullying that man, like was them the one that got hurt, or were these just children who get caught in the act?
Like, was this a result of bullying? Not, and let me put this disclaimer out there. Do not take and spin nothing what we just say. We're not saying what happened was correct. We're in no way saying that he had a right to do what he did.
Right.
But we're talking about sometimes we're so reactive and we're not doing enough to prevent certain things. Me doing the type of job that I'm in, people come up about bullying sometimes, and I feel like the official them will kind of push it off to the wayside. We even hear a funny of somebody making light of bullying, right? And the whole situation where the person would have say, well, you think suspending somebody for 3 days because them bully me, I gotta really cure the fact so them bully me because somebody snitch on them and them I got mad because then them I think so me snitch on them for make them get suspended, even though like the suspension is supposed to be a consequences that you don't want. But in this day and age, suspension to them pitney and nothing. Right. In school suspension, out of school, so what? More time out of school? Yeah. So I feel like I don't know if there's a strict enough consequence, or is it that the kids just don't care nowadays about suspension? Me, get suspended way and live weird. School and the way. Like teacher for call my parents and what me. No sir. So it's just like, I don't know if the consequences that are in place now, they just don't fear it or they don't care for it. So it's like, can bullying ever stop? Because adults do it too. They venture onto social media, we have cyberbullying, and that hard for track even more.
Facts.
Because they can create burner account and them something there. So bullying is something where I feel like we don't pay enough attention to or try to figure out what steps work and what we can do to make it stick. Now if it become a legal consequence, we know say, but then
it can be, it should be, because listen, they know what the outcome would be, you know. It's not like them don't know what the outcome would be. We know what's the outcome of a bully, you know. When that victim decide like, hey, I'm not taking it no more, we know what's and gonna come back, after.
Yeah.
So it's like, you know, but with most things we see where we just talk to you about police. You know, most police is not here to protect. They're here to like
avenge whatever.
After, they're here to catch the thief, not to stop the thief. They're here to catch the murderer, not to stop the murderer. It's
very reactive and not preventative, because even if they look on crime anyway. Right. Take for instance, the crime rate of Jamaica or the crime rate in this city, our cities in Jamaica and also here in Philadelphia, it is very high. But there's a lot of stuff done after the act happens and not before.
Not before to prevent it.
So where is the intervention?
There's not a crime prevention
right.
act. There's not a crime prevention act. Again, we know, listen, hey, you might say this, but then the law might come down very heavily on people.
Yeah, and we're just
people.
Yeah.
But listen, what you would have rather? Because this is what I'm saying, right? If I'm not doing criminal activities or I'm not involved in criminal activities, if you have police on the road, right? Mine trying to get out criminal, how would that affect me if I'm not in that particular era? I might get caught in a search or something, but once within the search start or something, then I'll be clear. You know what I'm saying? It's not like I'm walking around with like criminal stuff or anything like that.
I feel like what you bring up now, like if it's like an infringement,
if it was like a stop and frisk or right, like right. You know, like when there was a stop and frisk or certain stuff. Where you, as a parent, right, as an adult, right, been a victim of robbery, you're seeing murder, and you see how much crime happen in the community. What you would have rather? Would you rather some strict? And a lot of these police make it difficult because they're dirty. Now we thought
we are bash the police too,
It's a lot.
And not true. Like you have some shady police, you have shady politicians, you have just shady systems all around. But you have some people uphold
the law
with them uphold the foolishness with them family member and them pitney people. And then when things happen the way them say you live by it, you die by it. When it happen, there's an outcry, there's an outpour. Oh, this person was X, Y, and Z, when you know what deep down say what them a do was not correct. When them did a go and take things and you reap the benefit, did you know that they're reaping somebody work hard for whatever, or innocent people life will get taken, or stuff that wasn't theirs to take, and you benefit from it, and then you want to cry, being that I know it's a human thing because that person was your relative and family, but what did you do to intervene and correct it before it got to where it was?
Facts.
So it's like everybody have a part for play, and over again every episode we kind of touch on different things, but what we want people to do is have accountability. The politician them for have accountability in terms of the laws that is written, correct? The police have certain things where them have to uphold, them have to check for them biases and things, and the citizen us have a role for play too. So if everybody a drop on and a pine pan everybody else, like how is it going to get better? I don't see it getting better unless everybody own up and take accountability for where they fall and where the problem lies. So
Fox. Alright, next topic. Streaming. Vibes Cartel made a post the other day. He was saying about people respecting their cultural music, and how what happened was that Drake had the highest streaming in Jamaica over all dancehall artists. Again, from the World Boss, he took to Instagram. And
why are you looking at me like that?
Right? Addressed it as the World Boss and let them know what clock has strike. Right? Totally agree with him. Not everything he does or not everything he says I agree, but I totally agree with this one. Jamaican people don't really support their own.
Yep.
They don't really support their own. Listen, even if Cartel not putting out any good quality music right now, right? If Cartel should even be the number one, tell me which. Tell me say out of so many ghetto youth out there, they're not even 5-1, not even 5 top artists, like for bring up them streaming.
But you know what?
And support them.
Them value the American culture and anything that the Americans do.
Right.
They eat it up, right? So I think it's that part of thing that is ingrained there. Like them see that place here as one city on the hill, or them saving grace, or the end all be all for some of them.
I think they see it for what it is for music though, but
not only music, because I feel like sometimes people think that if you're over here, but they're that foreign, so you must have lived some kind of life and you must have money.
I mean, look at you.
Look at me who?
Perfect example, right? Living the life.
Don't come for me. He might live the life, yeah?
Does the
Not
artist
me.
respect the right stream? I remember what happened was people glorifying Spotify. Spotify only work for Drake and Adele. Are the only 2 artists them that Spotify really glorify. And I would say Spotify helped Charlie Blacks though.
With Party Animal.
Yeah, I did say it helped give him a boost. But Spotify is not really Spotify is not involved in Jamaican culture. One streaming thing what me see what dead for Jamaican culture and they're not paying it no man is Audio Mac. Audio Mac actually in Jamaica doing the groundwork.
Right, because with interviews,
they do the live show.
Also, that other, he's not Jamaican. That DJ, that
Puffy,
right? I think
Caribbean.
they're doing a little contracts and stuff. That is also true.
But they're not paying these artists thinking that Audio Mac they're too big for Audio Mac platform. That's what they're thinking. So they're not going to Audio Mac with a deal or strike a deal. Alkaline looked like he had a deal with Audio Mac. If you listen to his album that he did lately, he did say Audio Mac in one of the songs. I'm not sure if Audio Mac did produce one of the songs, but the reason why that album was just secretly done so it was because Audio Mac was involved too.
And you know what? It will always revert back to the streaming platforms that are associated the American market versus the worldwide market, right? Even though some of our artists travel to Ukraine, New Zealand, all these places like African countries, England, Italy, you know, all these places that they travel to and they have fans, like they sell out stadiums.
But I'm only want respect the
but
American,
it's just
America alone.
It's the dominance of or the value that is placed on the American market, because some people believe like you haven't made it or you're not big enough if you don't have the American population. And there's a certain thing where they're willing to buy and support albums and streams and different things like that. You know, you can stop a regular person, you ask them like how much, then probably pay for iMusic, Apple Music, Spotify, Tidal, like willing to put in that money, or they buy CDs and go to concerts and do things like that. So it's always that other, like them just separate the American market and feel like if me can bust ya so, then you know it's easy to conquer.
Listen, America has the biggest. The
money,
the plate in a music, America has the bigger.
They have their foot on people's neck.
Yes. So when it come on to music, the people would say America is the apple for that. You know, may I say, it's just something where we're seeing up and over the world. People at England, they wanna, even though they make it at England or make it in Africa, they just want to come to America. So that's the whole thing. Why though? We'll try to get into that next time.
It's follow the money. The
next thing is, should artists rely on streaming or Grammy to validate their success?
No. I feel like this is the thing. If you don't, you know when you have talent.
Right.
You know when your work is reaching people. I just don't know what it is that'll be like, this is just one set of people that think they have a handle on music, or that they think they have the right to judge your music and tell you if you're good or not. But what if, you know, we all were to all the submissions that were there? We don't need this committee. Use just one subjective set of people.
Drake withdrew his
which we're gonna get to.
Drake withdrew that.
So he withdrew it, even though we don't know what the reason as to like why him withdrew his Grammy.
Is that BS?
It could be BS behind the scenes, or just like the manipulation of creating this high society that is not very equal and that take advantage of artists. And it's like a secret society, but it's like, who are you? You're not no god of music or anything. Yes, you might, you know, you can, anybody could, I feel like, could judge music and tell if they want to be a part of it or not. So it's just like this whole idea of the secret society, and then they're able to be like, okay, your music is the greatest of all greatest. No, if you know that you're great,
we have seen
you're great. Your music stand the test of time. Right. So it's just like you have to know where you're gonna place your value at, and I really honestly don't think they should use that as the only value or
for the music,
for say yeah me reach, yeah me make
all right.
it.
You see the streaming now, things and time change, technology change.
Yeah.
No one really buying a hard copy record anymore.
No.
So the streaming does affect their success. Because of CDs not selling anymore, records are, you know.
So it's like they're translating. I don't remember what was the rough translation
like
for that.
stream per record.
Right.
For one soul record.
So it's like different calculations on different things. No, I'm not saying that you can't. All right. You see, if they didn't value it, you wouldn't repost when Spotify say you are number 1, you're number 2, you're number 3. If it didn't hold some kind of weight or some kind of substance, like you wouldn't repost it, you wouldn't care.
I mean, it does affect people because imagine
it affect money.
Imagine if you make a movie right now and you put it out in the universe and you only got 10 million views on a movie that you think really like put your
if you think about the box office or the theater,
right?
If it don't drop a couple 100 million, you'd be like, it was a flop, and be like, no, it's 10 million people that watched it though,
right?
But
so people need to value what they receive, and if they need to do more, they need to find out how they can tap into a bigger market. Now another thing is, I can give them a word of advice. The time where you're going to, as an artist, I know you have to spread the music everywhere, but if you know YouTube is the strongest your strongest point, right?
Area, yeah.
Why do you keep spreading the music everywhere and Pandora and Deezer and? Because
I think it's still population too, but
I know, but then calculate up all those streams and put out your own stream. So don't let Spotify determine who they think you are by giving you 30 million stream for the year, because if Spotify gave you 30 million and YouTube gave you 450 million, right? And Pandora gave you 30 million also. You do your accolades and be like, yo, this is my research and these are mine as the artist for the end of the year and this is my calculation. Do your breakdown. Don't let Spotify determine who you are, if you're great or not. You know, that's the same thing when it come on to Grammy or nominee. Like, brother, don't let these people tell you who you are. If you know say you great, you great. Self-praise and a recommendation will know that. You see me? And God not like proud people, but I am saying, make sure say you believe in yourself.
Yeah.
Make sure you believe in yourself.
I think you get lost in this era of social media, or, you know, so you just like, you find that a lot of artists just like step back off the scene and just do things that please them and release when they want to release. But I do see where NBA Youngboy took all his stuff.
He pulled all his material from
YouTube because he's saying that he's never received a check, and it's like, wow, like even though it's a platform, you are getting exposure. And
then YouTube gonna say his check been there. So why?
Yes, so it's just like his money just been there. But why wouldn't you, like, if this is somebody that is also bringing people to your, you know, your videoing platform,
very strong.
It's almost like I have the money, but if you don't ask for it, you're not going to get it. But it's my content, and you strike people for using my content, but you're uploading my stuff and not sending me what I'm due, you know. Right. So it kind of everybody has step on everybody for climb.
Yeah. They probably won a couple million. Well, combo reach out of food. You know, this tasteful.
Businesses.
I love it. But let me tell you,
businesses using
you are surprised. You are surprised because I remember you saying, "Oh, it was prostituting," and I am saying to you that, hey, origin keeper Jamaica.
Listen, what is the definition of I have nothing against sex workers. If that's what you want to do, you do what you want to do. I don't think it's a job for me. But if that's what you want to do, you want to do. But the definition of it, if there's an exchange of money, which was said in the video.
Good point. Because then I remember saying to you, right? listen, because origin happened, right? And we know people pay to go in. So I was wondering, right? Because we heard the cops went for her or whatever. We don't know what they do with the charger. Because again, you know what I say? I think, listen, origin happened in Jamaica. So I was wondering, was it because they took the money and then had sex, make it a prostitution and illegal?
If sex was not a taboo thing, this wouldn't have been a story.
Yeah.
Because we know that it happens, as you said, there's hedonism, which is the nude beach or whatever. Right. There's other things that people, there's brothels and all of these things. It's just to know and find and to make sure they all walk the thin line and the red tape or whatever.
Yeah.
No, the thing is, with these things, people are being very risky. And you don't know. What I was saying is, you know what would have made it better? If you would ask everybody to get tested and bring your clean papers and sell the ticket where it's not like you're soliciting or doing any of that.
Yeah,
maybe then it would be tasteful. Or you shouldn't have put it out there on TikTok or on Instagram if you didn't want the smoke. Knowing puss and dog now have the same look.
But if Kedisha wants some advice, I can give her to run a party properly.
Hey, walking STD centrals if y'all not wrapping up, so
you know
that ain't my business.
Not sure if they charge her or anything. So we're not sure any charges. But we know in Jamaica, once you're not rich,
it's also knowing your rights.
Yeah.
Again, you know whatever you're doing can come off as a certain thing, but yet still you still do it, or whoever sent out the video was the problem. Because obviously this type of thing happens, or it has happened before, but then now it gets blown out of proportion because you know everybody the woman, everybody see it, and everybody make funny video about it, but nobody's like actually getting into the nitty-gritty to figure out like, all right, what does the law say? Can this sex worker or any, but nobody's advocating for the sex workers either, because if they were, even if a sex worker were to say, you know, somebody sexually assault me, they might be like, well, based upon the nature of your job, you not have no right for do that.
Yeah, them no respect.
Or if them for going to get tested and them something there, and the question them where them I got asked at the clinic, it biased towards people that do sex work for a living. If you chose to do that, you do that, but they're not, you know, they're not create a system where one, it's still illegal, so them I feel I don't do what them I do. Them might be very risky because then people can attack them because you know what, them not have no right for the job what them I do.
Right. I think it's illegal because most country is Christian.
Snooty. Yeah. It's more moralistic people when you have the big politician and pastor and all them something that I got a back road. Or them have people come meet them and go because they now go hotel and them something there. Big married people do it too, single people, all of that. My thing is, if sex was not such a taboo thing, and you know that wasn't illegal, it wouldn't be a thing. I think it's Amsterdam where them have like a whole district where them have the peep show, whatever. That's like a part of their economy. Or if you legalize certain things, then there's a better way of one, keeping people protected and allowing people to do whatever they want to do. But again, y'all be like, oh, release her and stuff, but then look down upon sex workers. Like y'all look down on them and treat them a certain way and treat them like they ain't human beings, and then when this whole come out, oh, we're for it, or oh, we're not for it. So I just think it's a bunch of BS from everybody that's partaking now, because y'all didn't give a shit before, and y'all still don't give a shit, because then you would advocate for these workers, want to be able to get tested often, and that it's not, they're not doing something that's illegal. So if once and ready for actually have that conversation, then I want to be a part of the conversation, because well now waganis. I will not say
who you actually
whatever.
talking about. I'm trying to understand who you are upset. Are you upset about? Are you upset at the promoter? Or are you upset at the prostitute what do they call them? Prostitute?
They're sex workers. They don't always label themselves as
Are you
prostitutes.
upset about the law? Like, what are you upset about here?
I'm just upset that one, people don't figure out what their actual like right is, because then if I know like you can come pick me up for nothing that you didn't really see me do, but well, that's kind of admit, because she said it in the whole video. Yeah. That's one thing. Two, the people that are making light and fun of the situation. Yes, it's a moment where we are on a comedian or whatever and doing all of that, but that's not, I don't think that's helping her in the long run.
I don't see nothing wrong with the fun. I think they're just happy to see that someone actually out there that actually care about these men.
Let's see, care about what men?
To take their money.
Care about, what are you talking about, bro?
Somebody like Kedisha care about these men that don't have a wife or a woman at all.
Then again, here you are assuming that the persons that are attending these stuff don't have a wife. You don't know what type of individuals are
going. And they're not getting attention. What if I'm with you and miserable? Then me that be a man out there so too. That's the man that really need some joy.
Whatever floats your boat.
I don't know why it seemed to upset you so much.
It doesn't upset me. It's just interesting how when it comes down to the nitty gritty, and if road did for black, and for go up and petition for these so-called women that are helping these men that don't have anybody, or they're not going to do it because they don't want to be associated with a sex worker. And that's the part that is annoying.
I think you're getting it twisted because these men love Kedisha. So I don't know what you're
not enough for stand on picket line and said that they actually had sex with Kedisha.
You don't know yet. She's not on picket.
Since this come out and the cops have arrested her, has any of these men?
They brought her in for question, babes. They did not arrest her. Do you notice I said, did she get charged? Because you're out of record.
Allegedly bringing her in for questioning. Did anybody say, oh, let me go get a lawyer on her behalf, because they shouldn't be questioning her without a lawyer present? Did anybody chump up anybody to go down there? Crickets.
No, Mr. Westfire, I'm not going down the road with you.
Crickets.
Whatever. Alright, people. Thank you. Leaving out with a banger. Thank you for making it to the end of this podcast. You see me I say? Big up everybody who make it here to the end. And this is how we have our dialogue. You know, it's more intense when you guys are not here. So remember the time when your mother hears for the first time, she was like,
oh, that's crazy, y'all.
Why you punch up my daughter face up there? Boom, boom, boom. That's what I throw what you know. Just big arguing, you know. Now
just disagree, not even disagreement. It's just dialogue. Like dialogue about something that somebody thinks said, because we got toe to toe just now, like
right.
It's pretty normal to have like these discussions.
Enough people have put on picture. Them like to
like that to not agree, that them agree upon everything. No, sir.
Yeah, people like do them something that like. As me tell people, I am who I am.
Yeah.
Just like how you see me as some stay. Just like how you smell me as some stay. You see.
You know, we have our own personality and our own way of thinking. We agree on some things and we don't agree on other things, but we can agree to disagree. Or if in the heat of the moment be like, alright, say what you say, and then we'll come back and be like, you know, so I kind of agree with what you said, but when me that try saying at the heat of the moment was this, and you be like, oh, but then why you never just say that? So sometimes I just like miscommunication, but yeah.
Well, maybe because you can drive. I think that's why you don't know how to drive a conversation also. Babe.
See, this is what I'm talking about.
Yes, because a lot of time we're having a conversation and you just from bushes.
It's not
and I'm
beating,
like, get to the point.
No, it's not beating around bushes. I think you enter conversations with your streamline of thinking. I enter my way of thinking, and sometimes you don't want to budge.
When you're saying you're one, bend your answer.
No,
don't be straight because you
it
don't
is
have
straight.